Hello everyone, welcome to Clash Encoder. So in this video we will see the question 456, that is 132 pattern. So it is the most likely asked question in Amazon also. So you can see it is a medium level question and also a light question. And let's see the problem statement. Given an array of n integers numbers, the name of the array, a 132 pattern is a subsequence, and subsequence is actually not continuous. It can be like the elements should be in relative positions, so like it can be 1 3 4, or it can be 1 2 4. You can skip an element in between, but the indices, if this one has indices is smaller than 3, so it should be smaller than 3 in the subsequence also. So this is what subsequence means. So you can see 132 pattern is a subsequence of 3 integers, that is numbers I, numbers j and numbers k, such that I is less than j and j is less than k. So these are the indices. I, it should be less than j and j should be less than k, and the elements at that particular indices should be like numbers of I should be less than numbers of k, and numbers of k should be less than numbers of j. So it is actually not as simple as it seems. You can see it is not like the first element is smaller than the second and second is smaller than the third. It should be like this. You can see 132. So it means that first is smaller than the third element and third element is smaller than the last element or the middle element. So middle element is the maximum out of all, and the first element is the minimum out of these three elements. So you can see return true if there exists or there is a pattern in the numbers, otherwise return false. And the follow up is like we have to start with the naive approach, then we will optimize it further to the n log n or O of n. So let's see. So this, you can see in this example we are given 1 2 and 3 and 4. So you can see there is no possible pair which forms 1 3 2. You can see if we take this 2 as j, so it is smaller than the k, so k should be greater here. So if you take this 3, so it is always, j is always smaller than k in this array. So there can be no possible solution, because j, the element at the jth index should be greater than the ith index and the kth index element. So there is no pattern. In this example you can see 3 1 4 2. So you can see here if we take j as this, you can see j as 4, so there is a solution possible, because our k will be less than j. You can see 2 is less than j, and if we take this as our I, so I is less than both of them. So this is the possible solution for this. So we will simply return true. And this is also a similar example you can see, and the constraints you can see is n will be between 1 2 and 10 to the power 4. So it is not large constraint. So it, let's see how we can approach this question. And you can see here also the elements in the this can be stored into int also. So let's see how we can approach this question. So if you are asked in this question in an interview for the company like Amazon, so you should start with the basic naive approach in any interview if you are asked with this any question. So let's see how we can do that. So as you know, we have to find three variables such that this is the condition: a of I should be less than a of k, and a of k should be less than a of j. So that means the middle element should be greater than the both elements, and the last element should be greater than the first element. So for doing that we need three variables. So that means we need three for loops. So we will use simply three nested for loops. So that will, I will run from this index that will be starting, and j will run from I plus 1, because the element should be unique. They should not be the same element. So I should be here and j should be here, and j should be at the next index of the I, and k should be on the next index of j, if you see carefully. And I will run only till this point. You can see till this point, because after this point it will be, you can see n minus 2, n minus 2 will be 3 minus 2 will be 1. So it will run till this point only, because after that I cannot go anywhere, because then j and k will not have any index left. So the conditions will not be true. So that is why I will run only till n minus 2, and j will run till n minus 1, because it can be taken as the second last element, and the last element only k can go to the till the last element. And this solution will be simple, naive or trivial solution. You can see it will simply run three for loops. These are the for loops, and we will keep checking the condition, these condition, that is a of I is less than a of k, and a of k is less than a of j. And if there is a particular pair of elements for the subsequence for which the condition is true, we will simply return true. Otherwise, this, if this for loop ends and there is no such pair, so we will simply return false. That means there is no solution. And you can see this solution will take O of n cube time, because there we are using three nested for loops, and the space complexity will be just O of 1, because we are not storing anything. We are simply checking the condition and returning true and false accordingly. So this was the naive approach. Then I will tell you how to optimize this further. You can see here we are using n cube. At least we can take it to n square if we try to. So you can see this is the solution for using that, for increasing the time complexity to improving it to n square. So let's see how we can do that. As you know, I is always smaller than the jth element and the kth element. So that means we have to take the minimum element, and it should be always to the left of the j and k as the I index is less than them. So what we can do is we can simply start traversing j from this index, that is 1 index, and we will start k from j plus 1, and we will, for I, we will simply find the left minimum for every element. For every iteration we will find its left minimum element. If the left minimum minimum element is 3, so if you see, if we have the left minimum element as 3, because for this particular index there is no left element, so the minimum will be itself only, so it will be 3. If you check now, j is 1 and k is 4, now the condition will be not true. You can see j, this I 1 is not less 1 is less than 3, it should be greater than 3 actually, so this is not true. So what we will do, we will simply increment j to the further index, so it will come till to this 4, and k will be at this point. Now if you see the minimum, this left minimum will be updated. Now you can see left minimum will be 1 and 3, so out of them what will be minimum, so it will be simply 1. So now our minimum is 1, so that means we are going to the right direction. You can see I is always minimum out of both, and our j is at this point and k is at this point. Now you can see 4 and 2, so you can see j is greater than left minimum, yes it is true, and it is also this k is also greater than the 1, that is our left minimum, that is ith element. You can see in this condition, this for loop j is running from 1 to n minus 1, so it will be at most taken as the second last index. It cannot go to the last index, then otherwise the k will not have any element left. So you can see the k will run from j plus 1 till n. They are on the next index, or it is on the next index of the j, because it cannot be on the same index, otherwise the element will be not unique. So then you can see this is the left minimum that we are checking. For every iteration of j, we will compare the left minimum. If this left minimum is greater than the element that we are on, so we will simply update our left minimum. So at this left minimum will act as our ith element, and jth and kth element, for them we are running our for loops. You can see for j we are running this loop, and for k we are running this loop, and for every element we will keep checking this condition. You can see left of minimum is less than a of k, that is our one condition, that is a of I is less than a of k, and a of k is less than a of j. If this is true, then we will simply turn true. Otherwise, if this for loop ends, then we will simply turn false. You can see how this was working was simply we were taking the leftmost element, or the leftmost minimum element, as we have to find the subsequence. So subsequence is it is not necessary that it should be continuous. You can see it can be 3, 4, 2. So here we have skipped 1, so we can skip 1. So that is why, if like for example, if here it was like, let me erase this, so here it was 1 for example, just think of that. So here it was 3, so now you can see our minimum is 1 here, and if we are at this point, you can see this 4, okay, this 4, and here also this condition will only satisfy this 1, 4 and 2 will only form the pair. So for doing that, you can see we will have to keep count of the minimum element. So minimum element is 1 here, so if we simply save the left minimum element as this 1, then you can see we will have 1, and if j is at this point and k is at this point, it will form the condition. You can see this 4 is greater than 2, that is kth element, and the 1 is smaller than k, so that is true. If this condition is true, you can see this condition is true. So that is why we can simply remove our first loop that we were using for the finding the ith element, because ith element is always the minimum of both. So we will simply set it to the minimum value of the at the particular element. If we are on this element, we will set the I to the minimum of the leftmost array. So that is why we end up optimizing our time complexity to of n square instead of O of n cube, which will be better than that. So you can also tell this solution in this interview. If you are starting with this solution, you can optimize it further to n square, telling this solution by reducing one loop using simply a minimum element. Now here you can also see that, let me show you the okay, so let me show you the optimized solution directly. So you can see our optimized solution will be let me see what is okay. So you can see this will be our optimized solution. So how we can do it will be, we will have to give up our space complexity, but then we will end up optimizing our time complexity. So for doing that, what we will have to do is we'll simply we will simply first of all find the left minimum element or array. Here we were using the left minimum this variable, but now we will use the array, so that will take up our O of n space. So let's see how we can do that. So you can see this is our array and these are the indices. So what we'll do, we will simply find the left minimum array for this array. So this array you can see, so for 1 the left minimum will be 1 only, because there is no left element to that. And for 3 you can see the left minimum will be left minimum I minus 1. If I is at this point, I minus 1 will be this 1, and array of I, so it is 3, so minimum of them will be 1. You can see, so it will be as 1. So here out of 2 and 1, what is minimum? 1. Again 4 and 1, so what is minimum? 1. So this will be our left minimum array. So array you can see. So now what we have to do is, this will be actually left minimum array will be our ith element that we are searching for. As you know, here we found out that ith element is always the minimum out of all the 3 elements. So that is why we will simply find the ith element by using this left array. So you can see left minimum array. So we have formed this array, and leftmost element, that is minimum for all elements, is 1 only. So now what, for finding j, we will run a loop. We will run a loop from right side to left side, because it will be like j will be greater here. Okay, so we will run the loop from the opposite side, that is reverse. So if j runs from here, you can see, then we will have to find only one variable, because if for particular element, if this is like, you can see this is 4, but if we see this is 4, but the kth element will be not there if we take this as j. So j will run from this point. You can see here we will not take this value. This will be considered as k, because after j there should be an element to take as k. So that is why if j starts from here, you can see this is j. This, if we are assuming this is our j element and this is our ith element, and you can see this satisfies the condition j is greater than I. And now we have to find a particular element k which satisfies the condition, that total condition, that is it should be less than j, but it should be greater than the ith element. But now here if you see, k is 4, but this 4 is greater than the jth element, which is 2. So that means this cannot be our pair that we are searching for. So then if we take this as j, if you see, if we take this as j, so let me erase this. So if we take this element as j, that is 3. If j is 3, so ith element is 1. So that means this can be possible pair. You can see 1 is smaller than 3, and we have to find the kth element now. That will be 1 is here. Okay, this is j, this is I, this is j. Now we have to find k. So for finding k, you can see what would be the maximum element out of here which is less than j. So that will be 2. You can see this 2 is maximum out of this which is less than 3. So you can see it will be here we're writing. So you can see this 2. So this satisfies the problem, the problem statement that we were given. So we will return 2. So this is what we are doing. We will have to do now, but for finding the kth element, actually I have written this before only stack, but I'm not explaining the stack before. Now I will explain you why we are using stack. Now you can see for finding the kth element, we will have to use some data structure to find the maximum element, which is greater than other elements, but it is less than 3. So we have to find that particular element. If you see, if we have 3 also, let me assume that afterwards. So you can see if what we will do is, now let me change this actually. So now you can see this is our pseudocode that I've written. It seems to be difficult, but I will explain you simply. So first you can see this is the basic step that we have to do for finding the ith element. For every index, for finding the ith element, we will simply find the left element. So array, that will be this. You can see we have formed it, this 1 1 1. So now what we will do is, we will have to use the stack data structure for finding the kth element, or the kth element which will be greater than I, but it will be less than j. If that element is not less than j, then we will simply pop it from the stack, and we will only keep the elements which are eligible for our condition. So that will be the use of the stack actually, not the particular use, but let's see. So you can see this will be as I told you, we will start from the reverse. So okay, we will start from the right to left. So you can see this will be right to left, and you can see here j will run from n to 0. Actually it will be n minus 1, because n will be actually 4, so it will run from n minus 1. And you can see for every index, if we are at this index, actually if we are at this index, if you see, if we are at this index, this is our jth element. Our pair will be only true if this j is greater than the I. If for example, if I was 2 here, okay, I was 3 here, just assume, then if we are assuming this as j, and this as I, so the condition is not true. It is obviously not true, because I should be less than j and k both. So it is not, it is greater than j, so it cannot be our element. So so that is why we will first check the condition. If a of I, that is this particular element 2, is greater than the left minimum, so left minimum of this will be 1. So yeah, it is true. So now we have to just find the kth element. So kth element which will be smaller than this element, but the greater than the ith element. So let's see how we can do that. So you can see now let me run only the algorithm dry. I will run the give it a dry run. You can see, so first our j will be at this point. So why I have written j, because we are actually searching for the jth element. So let's see. So our j will be at this point, and our stack is empty. Okay, we have initialized the stack. Don't see this first, I will explain you this, the dry run of this code. So let's see, our j is at this point. Now if you check this j, a of I or a of j is actually greater than a of left minimum j. So you can see it is less than this, so that means this can be our possible pair. But now if you see our stack is empty, so that means we don't have any kth element, because if we're taking j as the last index, there cannot be any k element, because k should be greater than the index of k should be greater than j. So that means we cannot have any kth element. So therefore we will simply add this value into stack. If our stack is empty, we will add the value. So you can see the value is 4, so we'll add it 4. So now our j will decrement actually to go to this index. Now if you see this again, we will check if a of j, that is you can see 2, is greater than the left minimum of j. So yes, this is 2. So that means we have found a particular j and I. You can see our j is 2 for this, j is 2, and our I is actually 1. Okay, I is 1. So now we have to find k. So for finding k, we will use our stack. So now you can see our top of stack, that is 4, is greater than this. Okay, you can see our top of stack is greater than this, that a particular I. Yes, it is true. But now if you check this, the top of stack 4 is greater than I. That will be true, but it should be less than j, but it is not less than j. You can see top of this this stack is not less than j, so that means our condition will be not true. You can see in this also I've written, we will if like here if we ever having the lesser element, that means if we have 0 here, so it cannot be I the kth element, because k should be greater than I and I is 1. So we will simply pop this element. This cannot be our possible solution, so we will pop them. So this condition actually, you can see this condition, I will bold it. You can see this condition actually states that if our stack is not empty, if for example we were having 0 here, okay, 0 in the stack. Now if you see this, we are assuming the I and j as this 2 and 1. If we take k as 0, so our condition will be not satisfied, because k will be smaller than I. So 1 is you can see greater than 0, so that means our condition will be not satisfied. So we cannot keep this value in the stack, because we only keep the possible values of k in the stack. This is not a possible value, this will be always false. So that is why we will simply pop this value. You can see if why the values in the stack are less than the left minimum value of the particular index, we will keep the popping them. If we have -1 here, it is again less than 1, so we'll simply pop these all values if they are less than the I in the stack. So if we pop them, we will be left with only the values which can be greater than I. So this condition will be doing that. Now if you see, we will check here it was 4 actually, so you can see here it will check if we will check if stack is not empty. Yeah, stack is not empty. In this condition nothing happened, because the 4 is greater than I, so that condition is true. First condition is true. But now if you see stack is not empty, that means we have the particular element k which is greater than I. But we will have to check if stack of, you can see top of stack is less than a of I. So that means this k value is 4. So k value is 4 and it is not less than this j value. 4 is greater than 2. So that means this cannot be our true pair that we are searching for. This is actually greater than sign. You can see 4 is not greater than 2. So that means this is not possible pair. So what we will do, we will simply decrement our j. So now our j will come to this point. Let me remove this. So j will come to this point. Now if you see our j is 3. Let me change this also. J is 3, and again you can check j is greater than I. So this is the left minimum. So that means you can see the left most element or the left minimum element for this particular index is 1. So that is true. Now you can see a of j is greater than a of I. So the one condition is true. So now we will check what we will we're having. Actually, when we move from the one the decrement is j, we also add the element that we were on into the stack. So I forgot to add it as we added the 4. So when we decrement our j, it come to this index. So before doing that, you can see we will pop the push the element or the particular element that we are decrementing from. So it will be 2. So we have this is in our stack. And now we have j as for this index, you can see we have j as this 3 and I as 1. Now our key value, you can see, so our stack we will run this condition. First of all, you can see stack is not empty. It is true, stack is not empty, but we will pop the elements only if this particular element is less than I. So you can see I is 1, so k is 2. So that means our condition is satisfied. So we don't need to pop any element from the stack, because our stack element is possible pair that we are searching for. So what we will do now, we will come to the next condition. So next condition will be checking for, this will be checking for a of I, a of k should be less than a of j. So you can see a of j here is this 3, and 3 is obviously greater than 2. So we are this stack is used for finding the k element, okay, and this j loop is actually used for the finding j element only, and these are the I elements. Actually, for making it simpler for you, you can see now our k element is 2, and we are on this element 3, and it is greater than 2. So that means we have found a possible pair, you can see, or it is only the possible pair. You can see k. So k is actually here 2 and j is 3. So that means k is smaller than j. But here if you see I is equal to 1, so I is also smaller than k and j, so that means our condition is satisfied. So here also you can see in this question we were given the condition that the numbers of I should be less than numbers of k, and numbers of I here is 1 and it is less than k. Number of I is 1 and k is 2 and j is 3, so k should be less than j, so it is 3. So you can see this is what we are forming. So actually it will be like this 132. So we have found the 132 pattern using only O of n space and O of n time complexity. We actually compromised our time complexity, but we improved space complexity, but we improved our time complexity, you can see. So the main condition that you have to remember is if the elements in the stack are less than the ith element that we have in the left minimum element, so that we will pop those elements. If we have 0 here and our I is 1, so we cannot take k as 0 because k will be less than I then, so we will simply pop the elements if there are such elements. You can see in this condition we will pop the elements, and then we will check for the second condition. This condition will be actually checking for if I is greater than k, so we will pop those elements. In this condition we will be checking for if we have any element in the stack left, so that means it is satisfying the condition, that is k is greater than I. So now we have to check for the second condition, which should be j is greater than k. So actually I am taking this as elements, these are not indices. You can see I is the first element, j is the second element, and k is the third element. Now you can see we will check for the element that are left in array. So if it is left like 2 is left, so now you can see this 2 will be greater than k. So just example, so we are having 3 actually. Yeah, you can see this 3 is greater than 2, so that means the second condition is also satisfied, so we will simply return true. And otherwise if these conditions are not satisfied, so what we will do, we will before decrementing j, we will add or push the value into the stack that we were on. If j was here, now if you see if this condition was not set, it was like 0, so j was here, so now we will add this value to the stack before moving to the next index. So that is we were doing. So I hope you got to know how and why we are using this stack. So let me show you the code also. So code will be almost similar to the pseudocode I have written. So you can see code in C++, and I will also provide the code in the description. So you can see first we are taking the size of the array, then I have initialized the left minimum array, you can see, and here you can see the first element will always have the minimum element as itself only. So we are finding for the minimum elements. You can see here in this loop, left minimum of I is equal to the previous left minimum element and the current element that we are on. So this is actually if we are on this element, so left minimum will be left minimum I minus 1 and this particular element. So out of both, the minimum will be 1. So this is what our condition is doing, this condition. And then we will have initialized our stack. Then I will written this condition. This for loop will be running from this. Actually I have written I, you can write it in any index or any variable name. So it will run from the last index and it will run till 0, you can see. Then we will check for the conditions. If the j element is greater than the ith element, then we will check for the condition while this, you can see, if the top of the stack is is less than the minimum element in the left minimum array, then we will simply remove those elements. That can be not our possible pairs. If I value is greater than the k value, that cannot be our possible pair. We will remove them. If our stack is not empty after removing those elements also, that means we have found an element k which is greater than I. So we'll check for the condition if that k is less than j or not. If it is less than jth element, then we will return 2 because we have found the pair. Otherwise we will simply add the values before decrementing the index. We will add the value to the stack. If this condition ends, it does not return true, so that means there is no possible pair, so we will return false then. So let's submit this. I hope you got this solution. Actually this was pretty difficult to explain also, so I hope you got it. You can see it ran faster than 91.54% of solution, but you can see here the space complexity was compromised, you can see. So here the more solutions for this problem are possible. You can see the binary search can also be used. We can use an array instead of this tag, but I have explained you the most popular or the 3 solutions that you can easily think of. I hope you understood the solution. Actually if you don't if you have any doubt, you can write down in comment section and I will obviously reply to your comments and try to explain you. Thank you for watching guys. Do like this video and subscribe this channel for more such videos. Thank you for watching.